What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, another special Kickstarter review. And today I'm very excited to check it out with all due respect from Party with Marty Games. This is for 2+ players, ages 13+, and it'll take about 30 to 45 minutes to play. And in with all due respect, we're going to be writing your name down on a VAP list along with some potential celebrities, if you want to put them on there, and then trying to predict who the judge thinks would be most likely to do something. It is similar to other party games, but it also has some unique twists here and there. But is it worth checking out? I don't know. Let's open it up and I'll tell you. Alright then, we're going to be checking out With All Due Respect from Party with Marty Games. Before I want to get started, I do want to mention this is the promotional copy in front of me, so take everything you see here with a grain of salt, even though you can see everything looks really, really nice already. So, very nice prototype going on here. So in With All Due Respect, you are going to be playing a very light party game in which you are going to be writing down the names of all the people playing. Then you can also add special celebrities. You're going to be trying to gain points by reading off cards and then trying to predict what the person who is writing the card down predicted. What am I talking about? I'll show you all the components and I'll show you how the gameplay works because it is a very, very simple game. So first and foremost, we have a handy-dandy rule sheet. It's one page, double-sided. It's got full color. It'll have you up and running in no time at all. Really not too many questions you're probably going to have with it, even though I am a little bit curious about this part right here. But I'll get more into that in a second. But very well-done rule booklet. Have you up and running in no time at all. Next, you're going to get these VIP list sheets. And these are thick, sturdy already. Very nice. These are dry erase. They come with some dry erase markers in the game. Hopefully the final game will come with enough for everyone, obviously. And they are perfectly serviceable. And you're going to get, I believe, in the prototype, I got 8 of these. Then you're also going to get this whiteboard right here, which is where the person who is the answerer is going to be writing down their answer. Next, you're going to be getting these chips. Everybody's going to get 2 of their own unique colored chips. They say with all due respect on them, because, well, that's the name of the game. And they're perfectly nice, sturdy little punchboard chips that you're going to be using to vote. Vote on questions. Did I say questions? Well, yes, because we're going to get this big old stack of question cards right here. Now, the question cards are each going to have 3 questions on them. Now, there's different symbols on them, and we weren't exactly sure what the symbols meant. We did notice that the ones on the bottom normally are a little bit more risque, and we actually like those ones a little bit better. And I'll go into some more of the questions a little bit later, but I also separated these out because you're also going to have some wild card cards, which you'll have to do some various different things, like staring contest, winner gains 3 points. Make up a rule for the game, one we really liked. The drawing card, where you're going to be drawing someone, and then they have to guess who it is, which is kind of fun. Exclusively on the VIP list, though. There's a drawing card, I believe, where you use your other hand, which can get some funny results. Some thumb wrestling, making funny noises, some various different things like that. So how does the gameplay work? Well, I'll tell you. So first and foremost, you're going to decide who's going to go first, and you're going to write down everyone's name on the board. So for this game, we're just going to say, hey, me, Tom Vassell, Forrest Bauer, and Rondo from Rondo's Run Through are playing the game, because those are all people you know, but let's just pretend that the 3 of us sat down and we're like, all right, we want to spice up the game a little bit, so we're going to add 2 more extra characters in the game. This is one thing I do like about the game, is that you're allowed to add extra celebrity personalities to it, so that's kind of fun. So we have Denzel Washington. We're also playing with Donald Trump. So those are the 5 of us that are going to be playing the game. Now, one of us is going to be randomly selected to be the first player. All the rest of the With All Due Respect tokens would go back in the box because we're not going to need them, and everybody collects their 2. And I'll just go first. So I would draw a card from the deck, and then I get to pick one of the 3 questions on the card. So let's look at them. Which player's diary would you most like to read? Which player is most likely to get arrested for robbing a bank? And if you could turn any player into your pet monkey, who would you choose? So at this point, I have to decide which of these 3 questions I would like to read aloud. So I would say, which player is most likely to get arrested for robbing a bank? And I think, well, you know what? I think so I would read that one and say, which player is most likely to get arrested for robbing the bank? So now, obviously, we don't need these 2 tokens because we're not playing. So now, Tom and Rondo would guess which ones they think are going to do that. But before, I'm going to write down which player. And you know what? I actually think it would probably be Donald Trump. And the reason I say that is I'm talking about like money laundering, extorting, all that sort of stuff, like something, under the table kind of thing. So I would write this down, and then I would say, all right, I've decided who it is, and now these 2 players would then put their tokens where they would like to put it. So where they're trying to predict what I guess. So
Rondo might predict that maybe Denzel Washington and Tom Vassell might be on the same wavelength as me, and he can play both of his poker chips on the same spot. So he might say, I think it's Donald Trump, and I'd say, I think it's Donald Trump, and this is why, because blah, blah, blah. He's got all the inside connections to a bank. He probably owns a bank, and so he's probably extorting money. So now we would tally up the score. So Rondo this turn, since he didn't get either of them correct, would get no points. So you put a 0 next to him, and I don't need Denzel and Donald Trump because they're not playing down there. So he would get 0. Tom would get 2 points because he correctly guessed with both of his tokens what it was. And then I would get 2 points because I had 2 people who correctly guessed it. And now we would keep out the VIP list. Everyone would grab back up their tokens. And the next person in order would read another card. And right now I'm just going to go through some of the cards so you can see some of them. So if you could live next door to any player so you could spy on them, which player would it be? Which player is most likely to get kicked out of school or fired from their job? If you had to switch underwear with another player, which player would you choose? Let's see. If aliens came to Earth and demanded we sacrifice one person to save our planet, which person would you choose? If we were all 4 foot tall, which player would be the best horse jockey? Just really some bizarre out there questions. Which player is the best practical jokester? Which player is the most likely to have sex change within the next 10 years? I think there's one, which player is most likely to commit suicide? So there are some deeper, darker questions in there. There are some that would definitely be deemed risque, but we're not talking about Cards Against Humanity type stuff here. So the one last component I forgot to mention is the scoreboard right here, where you're going to be writing down all the players in the game and then the VIP list up on top. So it says up to 12, so I'm wondering if the base game is going to have up to 12 of those markers on there. But anywho, you're going to go through 12 rounds. You're going to tally up the point after 12 rounds, and whoever has the most points will be the winner of the game. But in all honesty, this is definitely one of those games where you don't really care too much about the score most of the time if you're having fun and you just kind of focus on the gameplay itself. So that, in a nutshell, is how With All Due Respect is played.
Alrighty then, with all due respect from Party with Marty Games, what are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, the game's not going to be for everybody. This is definitely a lighter party game in the same ilk of Cards Against Humanity, Say Anything, Apple's Apple, that sort of game. So if you're not in the market for that, if you're looking for a more gamey game like the Resistance Coup, that sort of thing, this is definitely one you're probably going to want to steer clear of. Also, it says for 2+ players, I would not recommend this with 2, 3, 4 players. This is the kind of game where the more players you have, the more fun you're going to have, especially if the final version of the game comes with a bunch of VIP lists, which hopefully it comes with 12 because they have 12 spots on the little board right there. Because then if you can add celebrities, and that really kind of makes it fun because then you can talk about that. Another comment that I had with the game is that it says ages 13+, and that was a really weird number for me because some of the questions deal with like sex changes, and some deal with like suicide and killing people, and all sorts of adult topics that you might not necessarily want to play with your tween or preteen or whatever the heck they're called now. So yeah, and that's another thing. The questions, they're very varied. Like, it felt like sometimes they wanted to like skew more towards like the Cards Against Humanity crowd, and then sometimes they wanted to skew more towards like the Say Anything Family Edition crowd, and it's like there's this weird, I don't know. The other last con I have with this game is that some of the questions are relevant to the now. They deal with pop culture. Like there's not too many of them, but there are some in there. Like there's one about like Tim Tebow. And his religious beliefs, and that's perfectly relevant now, but say in like 5, 6, 7 years, is that question really going to make any sense to a lot of people at all? Probably not, especially if it doesn't make the Philadelphia Eagles roster, but I could talk about that all day. And that's mainly the cons that I have with the game. Moving on to the pros, I enjoyed this game for what it was. It was a fun, light party game, and I feel like this is a great kind of game to play with people who don't necessarily play games all the time. If you're looking for a nice, light party game, this is definitely one that you might enjoy. I do think that the comparison that a lot of people are going to be making is to Say Anything. There's a lot of similarities between these two games, and I enjoy both games. I don't Say Anything. I actually own both copies of this, and I still think that you might find room for this as well with that. So what did I enjoy about the game? Components, very nice components. The boards are perfectly serviceable. The markers are very, very nice. I like the fact that they have the erasers on the end. The tokens, very nice tokens, and this is the prototype copy, so I'm assuming the regular copy be even nicer than this. Gameplay-wise, what do I like? I really like the fact that you can add celebrities. I think that is a really cool, unique idea that I don't see in too many other games similar to this, because it definitely spices things up. So maybe you can have just 2 or 3 celebrities you add in that are crazy, out there, zany celebrities, and it'll mix up your answers, and I like that an awful lot. I actually mentioned it in the cons, but I do like the wide range of questions. There is a very wide range of questions in this game, and I like that. I like the fact that one question might be about sex, then another question might be about candy, then the next question might be about TV shows, and there's a wide variety of questions, and I like that. Also, there are a lot of cards in this game. I think there's probably like 50 to 100 cards. There's 3 on each. So you're not going to be retreading questions too quickly, which is another good thing. One last con that I forgot to mention is that some people are really not going to like the wild cards. Now, I do like the wild cards, and I feel like they're easy enough to take out because they very easily, they stand out. They're bright white. But some people aren't going to like that because they do sort of break up the ebb and flow of the game. I do want to mention, though, that the one where you have to make funny noises and the staring contest, that sort of stuff, the thumb wrestling, that's going to be a big turnoff to some people. But I think for the crowd that they're going for, I don't think it's really that big of a deal, personally. If this were more of a gamey game, I think that would really kind of bug a lot of people. But for the crowd that you're most likely going to be playing this game with, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I actually did kind of like them, especially the drawing ones. I would have liked to have seen more of the drawing ones because I thought that was really cool. So overall, with all due respect from Party with Marty Games, is a light party game, and you have to go into this game knowing that. But if you're in the market for a light party game, this is definitely one that you should probably I'd recommend checking out because it is quite a good deal of fun. I like the fact you add celebrities, I like the components, and I like this ease and simplicity of the game. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below. And with all due respect, it looks like it might be your cup of tea. Be sure to post the Kickstarter link below. And in the comments below, let me know if you were going to rob a bank with any celebrity, what celebrity would you rob the bank with? I feel like the obvious choice is... Actually, I don't know if there's really an obvious choice. You know what? I'm just going to go with Suge Knight. He's probably pretty good at stuff like that. He's not in prison. I don't know. You know what? I'd probably go with Leonardo DiCaprio. Because let's be honest, he's going to create the ultimate diversion. Like, everyone is just going to be like, oh my gosh, it's Leonardo DiCaprio. And then you can kind of just walk into the bank and steal stuff. But let me know in the comments below if you could rob a bank with any celebrity. Who would it be? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.
That was the review for With All Due Respect. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bauer's Game Corner.